Imagine you are miles beneath the ocean surface, in crushing darkness. A light flickers on, revealing something that doesn't make sense. A group of spiny king crabs perched serenely atop the head and tentacles of a giant octopus. They aren't fighting, they aren't being eaten. They are, for all intents and purposes, passengers. This isn't a random chance encounter. It's a routine taxi service operating in a city of perpetual night. What you're seeing is a phenomenon called phoresis, a temporary commensal interaction where one organism attaches to another solely for the purpose of travel. The passengers are a species of king crab, likely from the genus Lithodes, known for their formidable calcified armor. The driver is a Granulodona octopus, a creature of the abyss, soft-bodied and surprisingly intelligent. For the crab, the benefit seems obvious. It's a free ride across vast, dangerous plains of the seafloor. This saves an enormous amount of energy that would otherwise be spent trudging through thick sediment. More than just a ride, it's an elevator, lifting the crab above the muddy substrate into clearer water, potentially offering better access to filter feeding opportunities. But what does the octopus get out of it? The immediate assumption is nothing. This would make the relationship purely commensaline. One benefits, the other is unaffected. An octopus is essentially a giant muscle. The weight of a few crabs is likely negligible, like you carrying a few coins in your pocket. However, nature rarely allows for truly free lunches, even in the deep sea. The question remains, is there a hidden payment? Some researchers speculate the crabs might be providing a service, perhaps by picking off parasites from the octopus's skin, a mobile cleaning station for a host that can't scratch its own back. A more compelling theory is protection. While the Granulodone octopus is a capable predator, it is also prey. Deep-sea sharks, seals, and larger fish hunt these cephalopods. A soft-bodied animal is an easy meal. Now, picture that same octopus wearing a helmet and shoulder pads made of spiky, hardened shell. Suddenly, it's a much less appealing target. A predator attempting to bite the octopus's head might get a mouthful of sharp crab spines instead. The crabs aren't just passengers, they're living, mobile armor plating. To understand why a crab would need a taxi, you have to understand its neighborhood. The abyssal plain is not a lush forest, it's more like a desert. Food is incredibly scarce and arrives unpredictably from the world above, in the form of marine snow, a slow, constant drift of organic detritus. This snow doesn't fall evenly. Currents can concentrate it in patches, creating temporary oases of nutrients separated by vast, barren expanses. For a slow-moving crab, finding the next meal is a monumental challenge of exploration and luck. Every movement costs calories, a currency that is hard to come by in the abyss. For a king crab, walking is expensive. By hitching a ride on an octopus, which is already on the move hunting for its own food, the crab essentially hacks the system. It's traveling across the desert in an air-conditioned bus. This allows the crab to conserve its precious energy reserves for essential functions like growth and reproduction. The octopus becomes an unwitting scout, delivering the crab to new potential feeding grounds it might never have reached on its own, fundamentally changing its odds of survival. So how does a crab hail this eight-legged taxi? There are no abs in the abyss. The process likely relies on chemistry. Octopuses release subtle chemical trails as they move, a unique scent signature in the water. Crabs, with their highly sensitive chemoreceptors, can likely detect this trail and follow it to its source. It's less like seeing a bus and more like smelling that a bus is coming. The crab simply has to position itself in the octopus's path and, when the moment is right, climb aboard. A simple yet brilliant solution born from millions of years of evolution. The octopus's tolerance is perhaps the most fascinating part of this. These are highly intelligent, solitary, and often territorial animals. Why doesn't it just pluck the crabs off and discard them? Its tentacles are incredibly strong and dexterous. Removing the crabs would be trivial. The fact that it doesn't suggests that the crabs are not perceived as a threat, or that the cost of ignoring them is lower than the cost of removing them. Or, perhaps, in its complex mind, the octopus understands the trade-off. A little extra weight for a little extra armor might be a bargain it's willing to make. This isn't just about one crab and one octopus. Observers have seen multiple crabs on a single octopus, sometimes of different sizes. This transforms the octopus from a simple vehicle into something more complex, a mobile, living reef. A temporary community forms on its back. Think about where you are right now. You are an ecosystem. Your body is host to trillions of microorganisms. In the deep sea, where stable structures are rare, a large, moving animal can become a temporary substrate for other life, a walking, crawling island in the vast emptiness. This strategy of hitchhiking, or phoresis, isn't unique to the deep sea. It's a universal solution to the problem of getting from A to B when you're small and the world is big. You've seen it with barnacles on whales or sea turtles, but it gets stranger. Pseudoscorpions, tiny arachnids that can't fly, will grab onto the legs of larger beetles or flies to travel between habitats. Flower whites do the same, riding in the nostrils of hummingbirds to get from one flower to the next. The octopus taxi is just the deep-sea version of a very old and very successful idea. Despite these observations, much of this remains a mystery. How long do the crabs stay on? Do they have preferred destinations? Does the octopus ever get annoyed? We are seeing snapshots of a behavior through the brief, expensive visits of remotely operated vehicles. Studying life in the abyss is like studying the inhabitants of a distant planet through a keyhole. Each answer we find only illuminates a dozen new questions, reminding us that the deep ocean is the largest and perhaps last true wilderness on our own planet.
Monotony has grown fast. Nearly 2,700 people have watched in the last few weeks, yet less than 0.03% are subscribed. It would mean a lot if you joined by hitting subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.